Okay, so as we talked about yesterday, and stuff is at the top of the page there. So yes, always start at 60 every day, no matter how fast you get. Always go up in 5 beat per minute increments every time you play it correctly. Just do it once. Once you hit this thing correctly one time, go up. Common mistake people do is they'll play it like 3, 4, or 5 times in a row, and they say, well, I just want to make sure I got it before they go up. It's like, well, don't do that, because you'll definitely get it with all the repetitions you'll do going faster and faster. Tap your foot while you play. Keep tapping on the beat as much as you can. Obviously, the faster it gets, the harder it is to keep tapping that foot. So in faster tempos, you may end up having to tap on beats 1 and 3. However, it's still possible to tap your foot, going pretty fast there. At least, nodding your head is a good thing to do too. So a lot of times I will nod my head and tap my foot at the same time. So following the metronome with foot tapping just makes it so much more solid, all the rhythm and whatnot. When I record, I almost always feel far more solid, and things sound more solid when I play it back after recording something if I was tapping my foot. If I wasn't tapping my foot, it's not as solid. So yeah, tapping the foot's really big, and keeping things all nice and neat. So keep the hand moving the whole time. Always strum down on the down beat, strum up on the up beats. Say what you play while you're playing it. So going from 60 to 120, at least those speeds from 60 to 120, say it as you play it. When it gets going really fast, if it's too much of a tongue twister to continue to say stuff as you go, then don't worry about it. And yeah, about 10 to 15 minutes, like it says, is really all you need in order to max out on this stuff. Any longer than that, you hit that point of diminished returns for most things. So just, nice, good time limit. Make sure you're not overdoing anything and getting adequate work with all 3 of these. So anytime you come across a trouble spot within any of these, such as going from bars 3 to 4 on number 1 here, just single that out, work on that, do like 3 good takes in a row of just the trouble spot before you go back into doing the entire thing. So that's an instance where you do want to play it more than once to make sure you got it. That's troubleshooting though. It's a little bit different than just playing the whole thing. So here we go. 60 beats per minute, so I'm going to do just a few different speeds here so you can compare what you're doing to what I'm doing. 60 beats per minute, number 1. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 4. 1, and 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, and done. So I just say done on those last chords here because we're done. Don't need to let that ring out all 4 beats. But one thing that is important to remember, when you go to change chords on an upbeat, make sure that you wait to move to that chord during the upstroke you make. Alright, continuing on, 120 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 4, 1, 2, 3, and 2, 3, 4, and 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. Number 2. 60. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1 and 4. 1, 2 and 2. 3 and 3, 4 and done. 20. 1, 2, 3, 4. 1. 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. And number 3, 60 beats per minute. 1, 2, 3, 4, 1, and 3, 4, and 2, and 1, 2, and 4. 120. 1, 2, 3, 4. 160. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. 200. 1, 2, 1, 2, 3, 4. Okay. And then reminder on the scale stuff, just memorize one at a time, and then make sure you can play all previous scales you worked on from memory before adding a new one. So be able to play the C Ionian followed by the D Dorian without looking at the scale sheet. And once you can do that comfortably, then you add on the E Phrygian. So just take your time with it and do some improv stuff with it. Definitely a fun way to work on those things. And so the start of the next lesson, we've got two options here. One is I will ask you to demonstrate everything at the start of the lesson, so playing along with the metronome, and depending on how fast you got will determine how fast I ask you to go. Basically, it'll be 20 beats per minute slower than your max speed for the demonstration stuff. And the other option is you can record yourself playing things and send that over prior to the lesson starting. Some people just prefer to do that so they have less pressure. But totally up to you. If you do send over videos, what I'll ask is, starting at 60, and then you go up in increments of 20 until you're 20 beats per minute under your max speed. So let's say, whether 180 is your max speed on something. So then you would play it at 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 160. Well, let's say it was 170 was the max. Well, in that case, you would go 60, 80, 100, 120, 140, 150. So basically go up in 20s, and then if you didn't end on a 20, number divisible by 20, then you just go up like 10 or 5 beats per minute, or however many are necessary in order to get 20 under that last number. So hopefully that makes sense. And sometimes I can watch videos prior to the lesson starting, but not always, because pretty full schedule. So sometimes I can watch before, sometimes I'll have to watch right when the lesson starts, but either way, gotta play what you learned. So if any questions come up, let me know, and I'll see you again next week.